Genetic code. The process of translation requires transfer of genetic information from a polymer of nucleotide to form a polymer of amino acids. These informations are passed from DNA to mRNA or messenger RNA through transcription. The genetic informations are existing in mRNA in the form of genetic code. Here you can see a double-stranded DNA having polarity 5' 3' with one strand and another strand with the 3' 5'. And this is the template strand. Automatically this one becomes the coding strand. Now this DNA is undergoing transcription. It leads to formation of an mRNA, and here you can see the mRNA with polarity 5' 3'. So this is the template strand. So based on this template strand, a new mRNA is formed here. Here we can see thymine. So here adenine, here cytosine, here guanine, here adenine, here uracil. Then thymine, here we can see adenine. So this mRNA is complementary to this template strand. So the message from DNA is passed to where? mRNA. Now we can see the messages on where? mRNA, and these messages are existing in the form of codons. Here you can see the codons, and these codons consist of 3 nitrogen bases. 3 nitrogen bases are collectively known as codons. Here you can see the first codon is AGU. That means it consists of 3 nitrogen bases or 3 nucleotides: adenine, guanine and uracil. These 3 together constitute a codon, and it will code for an amino acid. Then we can see the next codon, which consists of adenine, cytosine and guanine. So this is the second codon which is present in this mRNA, and that will code for second amino acid. Then we can see the third codon, which consists of again 3 nucleotides. They are adenine, cytosine and again adenine. Adenine means adenine, the adenylic monophosphate that we can see here. Here we can see cytidine monophosphate. Here we can see again adenylic monophosphate. These 3 together known as another codon that will code for third amino acid. And again we can see the next amino acid that also constitute 3 nitrogen bases or 3 nucleotides. So these are known as codons. The messages in mRNA are found in the form of codons. These 3 amino acids join together to become a polypeptide or protein. So this is the overall process that can be seen during protein synthesis. And I have already mentioned that a codon which consists of 3 nitrogen bases or 3 nucleotides are joined together to become a codons. How we have arranged in that conclusion, that we have to study next. The codons or genetic code is a triplet. That means it consists of 3 nitrogen bases or 3 nucleotides. This was proved by the scientist George Gamow. How he proved that one? That we have to study. We know that DNA strand, when we are observing a DNA strand, there we can see 4 types of nitrogen bases or 4 types of nucleotides. That is deoxyadenylic monophosphate, deoxythymidine monophosphate, deoxyguanosine monophosphate and deoxycytidine monophosphate. And in mRNA also we can see 4 types of nitrogen bases or 4 types of nucleotides. What are they? Uridine monophosphate, adenylic acid or adenine monophosphate, cytidine monophosphate or guanosine monophosphate. So these are the 4 types of nitrogen bases in DNA and 4 types of nitrogen bases in mRNA also. And For the synthesis of protein, or when we are observing a protein, there we can see 20 amino acids are there. 20 naturally occurring amino acids are there. They will join in various forms to become the proteins. See, only 4 nitrogen bases are there and 20 amino acids are there. From this 4 nitrogen bases, 20 amino acids have to be coded. So, the codons should be a combination of nitrogen bases. So, that was proved by George Gamow. How he arranged in that conclusion? Suppose if the codons consist of a single codon, if the codon consists of a single nitrogen base, that can code for only 4 amino acids because only 4 codons are there. If they are existing in a single form, there we can see the formation of only 4 amino acids. But there are 20 amino acids have to be formed. So, this was neglected. Second, if it is a combination of 2 nitrogen bases, that means doublet, if the codon is a doublet one, it can code for 16 amino acid, 4 raised to 2, that will constitute 16, that means AC, AG, AU, AA. So these are the example for doublet code. If the codons are existing in doublet form, it can code for only 16 amino acids. Again 4 amino acids are remaining. So this is also not approved. Again comes the triplet codon pattern. That means if the codons are a combination of 3 nitrogen bases. If the codons are a combination of 3 nitrogen bases, that will code for how many amino acids? Yes, 64. 4 raised to 3, that will constitute 64 amino acids. So, in this way, George Gamow proved that the codon should be a combination of 3 nitrogen bases. Otherwise, it cannot code for 20 amino acids. If it is a combination of a single nitrogen base, only 4 amino acids are formed. If it is a combination of 2 nitrogen bases, only 16 amino acids are formed. So, at least 3 codons or 3 nitrogen bases should be there in a codon in order to code for all the 20 amino acids. In this way, George Gamow proved that codons are triplet. George Gamow suggested that the codon should be made of 3 nucleotides. Here you can see the examples of 4 codons: UUU, UUC, UUG, UUA. These are 4 types of codons. Next we can study about some scientists who were given contributions in genetic code. There are 3 more scientists are there. They are Severo Occo, Marshall Nierenberg and Hargobind Khorana. What was the contribution of these 3 scientists? First of all, Severo Occo. Severo Occo is a scientist. He discovered an enzyme called Severo Occo enzyme or polynucleotide phosphorylase. So, Severo Occo discovered an enzyme called polynucleotide phosphorylase. And with the help of this enzyme, polynucleotide phosphorylase, Marshall Nierenberg polymerized an RNA molecule with defined sequences in a template-independent manner. That means without DNA. Usually we know that from DNA only RNA is formed. But Marshall Nierenberg developed an RNA without the help of DNA or template-independent manner with the help of this enzyme, Severo Occo enzyme. And this is called enzymatic synthesis of RNA. So, Marshall Nierenberg's cell-free system of protein synthesis helped the code to be deciphered. Nierenberg has done this experiment in a test tube, not inside a cell. So, it's called a cell-free system of protein synthesis. So, without the help of DNA, he developed an RNA, and that is known as cell-free system of protein synthesis. So, this cell-free system of protein synthesis helped the code to be deciphered. So the question, who deciphered genetic code? Who deciphered genetic code? Marshall Nierenberg. And how? Through his cell-free system of protein synthesis. And for that purpose, or for that study, or for that discovery, who has also helped? Severo Occo has also helped. He developed an enzyme called a Severo-Occo enzyme. That enzyme was helpful in polymerizing RNA with the defined sequences in a template independent manner. So this discovery leads for the code to be deciphered. Hargobind Khorana was the scientist. He developed a chemical method that was developed by Khorana that shows how RNA can be specified the structure of a protein. Next we have to study, and another important topic is the salient features of genetic code. Here you can see in a box, you can see the 64 codons, isn't it? So total there are 64 codons are there. So no need to study these codons and the specific amino acids. So here we can see the 4 nitrogen bases UCAG, and here also we can see UCAG on the second position. Third position also we can see UCAG. So this is very simple method to write the codons. Here you can see first U, here you can see U, and here also the first one is U. So the first codon is UUU. Then how will you write the second one? First you have to write U, then you have to write U, then you have to write C. Okay, then UUC. Then next how you can write U. U is the first codon, second codon also U, and third one is A. So that is the third codon is UUA. And fourth one is UUG. How will you write? The first one is U, second one is U, and third one is G. So in this way you can write this total 64 codons, and here the specific amino acids name is also given there. That is PH here representing phenylalanine, LU is representing leucine. The name of these amino acids that I have given in the previous year, that is on the 11th standard. Okay, next we can study the salient features of genetic code. The salient features, first salient feature is the codon is triplet that we have already mentioned. The codons consist of 3 nitrogen bases, and total 64 codons are there. Of these 64 codons, 61 codon code for amino acids, and 3 codons are do not coding for any amino acids, and they are known as stop codons. Here you can see the stop codon UAA, UAG, and one more stop codon is there, that is UGA. So the 3 stop codon you can see there. UAA, what are the stop codons? UAA, then UAG, and UGA. These are known as stop codons. These codons do not code for any amino acids. So out of 64 codons, 61 will code for amino acids. 3 codons are do not coding for any amino acids. They are known as stop codons. So that is the first salient feature. Then comes the second salient feature. One codon code for only one amino acid. Here you can see the first codon UUU, that is coding for only phenylalanine. Then second codon UUC, that is coding for phenylalanine. See, UUU is coding for only phenylalanine. UUC is also coding for only phenylalanine. Then UUA, that is coding for only leucine. So that is specific. Each codon will code for only a specific amino acids. UUU will not code for phenylalanine and any other amino acid. It will code for only phenylalanine. So that is said to be specific. So here you can see the term, each codon code for only amino acid. So it is known as unambiguous and specific. There you have to write one example also. For example, you have to write UUU is coding for only phenylalanine, or
UUA is coding for only leucine. Any one example you can write there. Okay. So that is a second salient feature. Then comes the third salient features. Some amino acids are coded by more than one codon. That you can see here. See, in the case of UUU is coding for which one? Phenylalanine. And UUC is coding for phenylalanine. So they are specific, but the phenylalanine is coded by more than one codon. So that is called a degenerate. So what do you mean by degenerate? So degenerate means some amino acids are coded by more than one codon. Here you can see serine. The amino acid serine. Here the serine amino acid is coded by UCU is coding serine. UCC is also coding for serine. UCA is coding for serine and UCG also coding for serine. So some amino acids are coded by more than one codon and that feature is called degenerate. So specific and degenerate. So it's very important topics. The important, so that means the salient features of genetic code is very important topic. So what do you mean by specific means? Each codon will code for each amino acid. That is called a specific. Then what do you mean by degenerate? Some amino acids are coded by more than one codon. In both these cases, you have to mention the example also. Clear? So in specific, you can write any example. UUU, that is very important, very easiest one. That is UUU is coding for phenylalanine. UUC is coding for phenylalanine. Then when we are writing degenerate, at the same time also we can write these two examples. That is phenylalanine is coded by UUU and UUC. Okay. Then comes the fourth salient feature. The codon is in an mRNA is read in continuous fashion. There is no punctuations. When we are writing or when we are observing an mRNA, in between the codon there is no marking, there is no space or there is no punctuations. It's a continuous message. So these codons are not separated by any marking. That is called a mRNA is a continuous fashion. There is no punctuations. Then comes the fifth salient feature. The codon is universal. From prokaryotes to eukaryotes, these are same. That is from bacteria to human being, UUU is coding for only phenylalanine. When we are observing in bacteria's body or when we are observing in human being's body, when we are observing bacteria cell in human being body, we can see what? UUU is coding for phenylalanine. So that is universal. And then comes the last feature. There we can see one codon and that is called AUG. Here you can see the codon AUG. See, AUG has dual role. Any other codon does not have any dual role. Only AUG have dual role. It has two functions. First one, AUG is coding for what? MET. MET stands for methionine. The amino acid methionine is coded by which codon? AUG. And AUG has one more important function, that is AUG is the start codon. That means when we are observing an mRNA, each and every mRNA start with the one codon, that is AUG. So AUG is known as initiator codon. So in every mRNA, we can see the first codon should be AUG. So that is called initiator codon. So mRNA has dual roles. They are first one, it will code for which amino acid? Methionine, as usual. Like any other amino acid, it will code for one amino acid. Its name is methionine. And another function is AUG acting as an initiation codon, start codon in every mRNA. So that is the dual role of AUG. So these are the 6 salient features of genetic code. Clear? Okay, it's a very important question. And in your text there is when specific and degenerate features are mentioned, there is no examples are written there. But whenever this question is asked, you have to specify these points with the example also. especially in the case of specific and degenerate. When you are explaining about the second and third salient feature, at that time you have to mention one example also. That means each codon code for only one amino acid. That feature is called a specific. At that time you have to mention, for example, UUU is coding for phenylalanine, or UUC is coding for any one you can write as an example. Then the third salient feature, that is degenerate. Some amino acids are coded by more than one codon. At that time also you have to mention one example. For example, the amino acid phenylalanine is coded by UUU and UUC. Clear? So these are the 6 salient features.
Just quickly understand what we have studied today. Now we can see the DNA. From this DNA, mRNA is formed, and mRNA is coding for different amino acids. The DNA acts as genetic material that encode all the information required to encode a proteins. And DNA consists of genes. A DNA should consist of different types of genes. Several genes can be seen in a DNA. In E. coli, 4,500 genes are present. In human beings, approximately 30,000 genes are present. And from the DNA, mRNA is formed. That process is called a transcription. And mRNA will code for protein. That process is called a translation. And this universal flow of information from DNA to mRNA and from mRNA to protein is called a central dogma in molecular biology. Central dogma was proposed by Francis Crick. When we are observing mRNA, the messages are located in the form of genetic code. And genetic code is a combination of 3 nitrogen bases or 3 nucleotides. Each code will code for an amino acids. And the genetic code, there are total 64 codons are there. Among the 64 codons, 3 of them are acting as stop codons. And 61 will code for amino acids. Here you can see the another feature of genetic code. Here we can see proline amino acid that is coded by 4 types of codons: CCU, CCC, CCA and CCG. So this feature is called a degenerate. Same amino acids are coded by more than one codon. This feature is called a degenerate. Another salient feature is related to AUG codon. AUG has dual function. One, it code for MET, that is methionine, and second one, it acts as start codons. Then another feature of genetic codon, there is no overlapping. Non-overlappings are there. That means the code in between the codons, there are no punctuations, there is no comma. So no extra nucleotides can be seen in between the codons. And in an mRNA, there we can see the first codon should be AUG and the last codon, it may be UAA or UAG or UGA, and they are collectively called stop codons. Another feature of genetic code is universal. In human beings, E. coli, plants, amphibians, viruses, the genetic code is same. Exceptions of a few minor variations in mitochondria, some bacteria and some single-celled eukaryotes, it is different.